One year I told the corps officer that I had a great idea for VBS. We could produce a hip-hop VBS where the kids that attended would all rehearse various dances that we would mold into a giant show at the end of the week. The Sunday following VBS would be the great performance, and the kids would be able to showcase their talents in front of their friends and parents who normally didn't attend the corps. What could go wrong? The problem was, VBS has already been planned, so I met with the YPSM and we looked over the schedule. It turned out that the schedule we had put together didn't allow enough time for the kids to grasp the dance routines, and many of the kids that attended VBS during the week didn't show up on Sunday. Our grand performance we planned turned out to be a total flop. I was devastated. Being a successful leader may mean that you have fantastic programs, or it may mean that you have meaningful relationships with the kids in your ministry. Regardless of your own definition, it is helpful to know that in order to become a successful leader, we must learn that we all make some mistakes along the way. If everyone makes mistakes, then what differentiates successful leaders from everyone else? I believe a successful leader is consistently courageous. The two biggest stumbling blocks to any success is fear and doubt. A successful leader won't let those things hold them back, but instead faces them head on. We're so blessed as Christians because the essence of our faith is grace. Although the feelings of an initial failure can be overwhelming, remember that it is God's grace that will not allow us to be defined by our mistakes. Therein lies the freedom to try new things. Let's look at the 4 components we can actively engage when we find ourselves in the middle of a mess. Please allow yourself the space to feel disappointed. Take the time to process your feelings both with God as well as with a trusted friend. This takes the practice of self-reflection that we talked about in the last lesson. Take an honest look at what happened and do your best to take responsibility for your part. It takes a good amount of courage to admit that we were wrong and apologize for it. After the VBS disaster, I apologized to both the YPSM and the corps officer for not being able to follow through on my idea. We were able to discuss the things that went really well during that week, and also some of the outlying reasons that contributed to the disastrous Sunday performance. This alleviated the pressure on me personally, and allowed everyone to speak into the week. Mistakes help us to learn something in light of God's truth. You are fearfully and wonderfully made, so don't be too hard on God's creation. I know you'll learn so much about the kind of leader you are, just as I did through mistakes. I learned that I needed to keep mentors close to me to keep me accountable and thoughtful about decisions. I've made too many mistakes thinking and acting on ideas of my own without inviting others into the process. Mistakes always seem to be an opportunity to grow. These are moments when we can stretch in humility and resiliency. Remember, we don't know what we don't know. So when you find yourself in a difficult place, please ask for help. You are not alone. This is the most practical and humbling thing you can do. Reach out to those around you, be honest about what's happening, and seek advice. Resiliency is something that you have to reach inside of you for. No one can make you get back up and try again. You have to make that decision, and I want to encourage you that if you're in that place right now, do it. Get up and try again, or try something new as you consider what you can learn in the midst of what you're going through. Ask through prayer for the Holy Spirit to reveal to you where in your life you can grow, and then listen for a reply. Psalms 23 reminds us of His promise to be with us through all trials. He will never leave you, and you can trust that. I love having a plan. I think it's a responsible necessity, especially when leading in children's ministry. But the reality of life is that things change. Variables will be beyond your control. This is true in all aspects of our lives, not just relating to volunteering and leadership. I want to challenge you to have a flexible mindset. While you still make and follow a plan, if things don't go according to it, it's okay to deal with whatever comes your way. This in no means is an excuse not to plan. Be diligent and be prepared first. I think being prepared also means expecting changes. Although you can't always see what's coming, if your posture is in a willing position, nothing will shake you. Forbes magazine has an article that lays out 14 signs that define an adaptable person. The list of the 14 are all good, but a couple of my favorite characteristics are: adaptable people see failure as opportunity to be creative. Adaptable people don't whine and complain. If they can't change an outcome, they accept it and move on. Adaptable people don't blame. They are not victims because they are proactive in finding solutions to problems and failures. So much about being adaptable has to do with having empathy and respect for others around you. Having a positive attitude is contagious, And if you can catalyze that for your team and your students, you'll be making a huge difference. The 3 points we've already talked about, learning, growing, and being adaptable, are all about transformation. It's about becoming closer and closer to the way we reflect the image of Christ. We are on such an incredible journey that constantly refines who we are. I want to encourage you to take your mistakes and turn them into your motivation without allowing them to become your excuses. Remember, every attempt is about learning. If there is one secret to success, I would say it is to be ready to keep trying. It won't always be easy. Most things in life worth doing are not.